Back with part two of some isometrics for isolation. The first video we did lower body. Here's a little bit for the upper body. Just some simple ideas that you can take and make them work for you, elaborate upon. Some reasons to do isometric exercises. They're very good for strength. They're low threat because you're not moving. They're good for rehab of injuries. They're a good way to train your brain to contract more and more of the muscles, so you tap into a little more of the power that's available to you in strength. So we'll just do some things for the arms and think of some basic ways the arms move, the shoulders and the arms, and we'll isolate a few of those possible points of within your range of motion and try to strengthen those. Okay, so let's say we'll just do it on one side here. I'll do my left arm. Just think what your arm can do. It can go forward, so you want to be strong in taking your arm forward or flexing it. Okay, so I'm going to use this door facing here, and I'm just going to step behind it, and I'm just going to push my arm forward into it. I'm pulling like that, so that's my shoulder that's working. And I can hold that for 5 to 6 seconds and breathe during that. All right. Now, while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and work my biceps a little bit too. So the biceps bend the elbow. So for this one, I'm going to have my hand on the wall or the door facing. So I've got a little bit of a bend in the elbow now. And I'm just trying to, almost like I'm trying to lift the door up. So it's this kind of action here. I can even do it from the side. Trying to pull my hand up the wall without doing it, up the door facing. All right, so that's one. Let's go with arm overhead. If you can get to a door or stand on something so that you can get to this overhead position, then I'm again back behind the door and I'm trying to pull my hand back into it. Now that's probably a pretty weak position, but nevertheless, it might be one to work on for more strength there. Hold that 5-6 seconds, and for all these maybe you're building up 20 to 30 seconds, even a minute down the road if you're really wanting to push yourself. All right, so we've got the arm going forward, flexing. Let's try the arm going the other direction, extending. So I might just turn like this, and I've got the arm back behind me. I can have my elbows straight, and I'm just pulling my arm back into the wall. That's one position. I can also do that with my elbow bent. You can experiment trying to do it like you're trying to pull back like that. That's another way to work around the shoulder, upper arm. Hold that. Let's see. Then to get it extending in the overhead position more, let's say I'm kind of going above the shoulder, below the shoulder, forwards and backwards, trying to get a few points along its range of motion. Then if I can get my elbow up like this, I'm trying to pull my elbow down now, so I'm engaging these muscles through here more actively. I can do that with my arm bent or straight. I can also do it with the arm up overhead, pushing into the top of the door frame. So now I feel these muscles back here, pulling my arm down. All right. So it's extension. Let's go out to the side. We'll add down low and out. You can do that with the elbow bent or straight. It's going to be a different combination of muscles. I'm going to go up to about shoulder height, push out. I could do a fist. You could experiment with the position of your hand as well. I could do it up higher, pushing out. So going away from the midline, abducting, in flexion with the arm. I can do the same thing with the arm and extension, going away from the midline. So now I've got my arm behind me, pushing into the wall, that low position. You might not be able to get too high with that, but you can experiment, go out a little farther. And maybe you only start out with about 50% of your power available. Keep your spine long and breathe. All right, good. So we got extension out away from the midline. Next is pulling into the midline. So from here, I'll just switch like this to this side of the door. So I'm going to go down low. I'm going to pull in toward my midline. 5 to 6 seconds or longer. Maybe I'll go up higher to shoulder level, shoulder height. I pull into the midline. Again, 5 to 6 seconds. I go up high and pull into the midline. So I'm kind of simulating a wider range of motion through these, like a close, middle, and far, you might say. All right, so that's into the midline in front of me. I want into the midline behind me. So for this one, again, I won't have such a great range and extension with my shoulder behind me, my arm behind me. But I can still find the wall here and pull into the midline now. And again, I step out a little farther, arm a little higher, pull into the midline. All right, so that's a pretty good range, and from there you could expand upon it. There's also pushing and pulling. You could just lean against the door. You could try it with elbows bent or straight, kind of like a push-up. You could also, like a handstand basically, or a press. If you're able to find a door like this that's a height that works for you, I'm going to bend my knees a little bit to try my elbows slightly less bent, and then just push up into the door frame and breathe. Try to lift the roof off the sucker. All right. And good. So that gives you some ideas. Just think of the general strategies. Can you put your arm in different positions, loaded up with contracting the muscles in that position, and your brain should respond with overall less pain, greater range of motion, a feeling of greater strength, and hopefully then you can apply that into actual dynamic kinds of movements after that. All right. So thanks a lot. Good luck. Namaste.